Hello there, and welcome to the very first episode of the Leadership Lounge. I was hosting a podcast a while ago, and it's kind of been hit or miss, kind of finding my way for the last year and a half, called Class with a Little Sass. And we're still going to keep that playing in the background because it's so much fun to talk about confidence and relationships and in yourself, your well-being. But we're also going to let that kind of trickle into the Leadership Lounge as well. So this particular podcast platform is for leaders, those aspiring to be executives, business owners, anyone that's at the top that's needing that advice. Because let's be real, it's very lonely at the top, which is one of the main reasons people hire an executive coach. When I'm in a leadership role or even in my own business and brand, I want that mentor by my side because no one quite gets it like they do. There's just that level of confidentiality that just feels good. You feel like you've got this person in your corner helping you go to work every day, knocking out those challenges that show up, and putting those fires out. Let's be real, okay? So what is an executive coach exactly? To kind of go through a little bit of that role. And this is a great first podcast because it's going to be on my website as well, just to kind of explain what I do and what I've been doing for the last few years. Now, ironically, when you think of a coach, and I've been coaching, let's go back even further, over 20 years. And I started in the wellness coaching industry, and there was a part of me that had to stop and go, well, this is what a coach does. Well, now it's a household name. 20 years later, people understand what it is. Tiger Woods has a coach. Everybody out there, Michael Jordan, anyone that's great at being at the peak of their performance in anything they do, whether it's sports, it could be fitness, it could be their financial game, it could be their business, it could be their role, a career, professional life, even your relationships. Yes, even to succeed at your partnership, your marriage, your kids. There's a coach for everything these days. And I did start as wellness coaching back when my daughter was just 10 months old. So I've evolved and done business coaching, executive coaching, consulting, all of the fun things. And I really do enjoy it. Now, what's different about me as an executive coach is a coach, like any sports coach, is going to play on the sidelines. They're going to direct the team. They're going to tell you what play you need to play and then head off, like kind of almost turn into a cheerleader at that point and kind of cheer you from the sidelines. A consultant's going to roll up their sleeves and kind of get in the trenches with you. So I wear both hats. I've done both coaching and consulting. I see the benefits of both. And in my work with clients, I do like to kind of mirror both of them. I do see where, let me give you an example, of course. I'll be coaching a client and I know that maybe they struggle in an area that maybe I succeed at, or maybe someone on my team or someone I can refer out is really good at maybe creating a pitch deck. Maybe it's a deck that they need created or presentation slides. And they're just like, Carrie, PowerPoint is not my thing. I suck at that. I don't even know how to visually say it. And that's where myself and my team will jump in, create decks, help them with their presentation, kind of guide them with a talk sheet of what to say during the presentation. And if it's a media type of presentation, whether it's virtual like this, or they're actually in front of a room full of, in-person candidates and things that they're speaking to their team, I will give them talking points that help them kind of give them that confidence to guide them through, because sometimes it's a little scary. So I do guide from the side, but I also roll up my sleeves and get down and dirty with my clients because sometimes that's what they need, just to present and look their very best. That's my job. So what is an executive coach? My job is to really, truly fan the flame of the executive, manager, director, leadership team, whatever their title is at the point. Generally, it's mostly in the corporate world. Sometimes they're the business owner that need that guide from the side. They need that outside perspective and clarity. What am I not doing right? Like, help me get through the day. And again, I go back to myself. I needed and still do. That's the first thing I want, is a guide from the side. Somebody help me. I need to see my blind spots. I need someone to know what's out there. And that is key. We have blind spots. All of us do, no matter what your role is in life, what you do for a living or not. We all have blind spots, and your coach can help you with that. It's huge help. So there's all types of coaching, kind of going into that question. What types of coaching do we have? I work with the leadership sector the most, the leadership team. That's my favorite place to play. Natural born leader here. My mom used to joke and say, well, Carrie, you're so influential. She was And I like the term influential because it sounds nicer than bossy, right? The key thing is I was, and I kind of look back and go, I kind of led the neighborhood around. Some of them were boys. Why did they listen to me? Was I bossy? I don't think I led with fear. I think I would have an idea and just want to implement it, and I'm going back to like 8-year-old Carrie. And there's a part of me that was like, just, like, let's do this, guys. Let's build a fort. We can do this and that. And we would all jump in together with our strengths. So it starts with an idea, but if you can motivate yourself, you can motivate others. So leadership coaching is huge. That's a piece I like to play in. First, lead yourself. You've got to learn how to lead yourself. And what does that look like before you can even grow a team or inspire them? You've got to be able to be conscious and self-aware. Step 1. Step 2, know what your routine is. Is it healthy? What are your patterns? What are your thought patterns? What are your triggers? How do you react to conflict, disappointment? That's huge leadership stuff. That's first leading yourself. Okay, that goes down. That's really step 1. Unless my client has done a ton of personal growth, I still want to scratch the surface for myself to see if I can catch a blind spot in that area. But a lot of the times they are. I mean, those that are seeking executive coaching have already worked on themselves, have been doing this. They've run marathons. They've really, really expanded themselves outside of work, in their personal life, see what they're made of. And I'll go through some examples of what I've done myself if you want to just explore in that area. And we don't always have to go into the first lead yourself. We can jump right into, you've got a job promotion, something that's on the horizon that you want to achieve. How can we really excel you where you're at, get your team to perform better? And which, of course, when your team looks good, you look good, right? That's what we need to do. That's what executives need to do. It's not all about us. It's about inspiring others to be their best. That's a true leader. A true leader is no different than you think of parenting. I judge my parenting skills based on my daughter's success, and I'm a single mom of a 20-year-old. I look at her today and go, gosh, I've done a good job. I think I've done it. I doubted myself a lot through that single life together, parenting her full time by myself. Trust me, I went through a lot of doubting phases. Am I screwing her up? Am I messing this up? But looking and reaping those rewards is very similar to an executive coach when you're working with your team. You're like, and you see someone soar and hit sales goals, and you're hitting your quarterly goals, and you feel so good about yourself. It's not by chance. It's by design. Okay? It's all by design. Never lead a team by default. Do it by design is why my company's called Leadership Solutions by Design. Everything's by design, guys. Everything's got a playbook and a game plan to go with it. Nothing's by chance. So that's one of the things I do. I do leadership coaching. I start with first lead yourself. Then I go into performance coaching. How can you get your team to truly reach their potential? Nothing's more challenging than when you see the potential of your teammate or your direct report, someone that is growing beneath you, and they're just kind of keep hitting a wall, or the obstacles are just derailing them, or they're getting distracted. It's very frustrating. So we want to get into that. And then, of course, I also work with career coaching if you're looking to get that promotion. That's really the big thing. Maybe you want to even go in outside of your professional network and get a new job, not just promotion within, but a promotion outside of yourself. You're ready to maybe even start your own business, or you've been having your eye kind of on this other job or company. You're currently partners or stakeholder within the company that you're working. They're also exceeding partners, and you've got your eye on this other opportunity, and you want to just grow and build that portfolio. That's what we work on as well, what I also work on. So all kinds of great ways to start work on that type of coaching. You just come in where you're at. I meet you where you are. You could be just starting off. You could be a manager and you really, really want to get on that leadership team. You want to be a director or a senior director or senior vice president, whatever that looks like. Go all the way to the top. Let's work on that. Let's get you that portfolio. Let's get that. Hey, look at me. Look at what I'm accomplishing over here. So when you jump in and that promotion is open, or someone's getting ready to exit. So a lot of baby boomers exiting corporate America right now, which means open opportunities, right? So let's get you prepared for that. That's really what an executive coach wants to do in your world. Okay. So why do leaders need an executive coach? Carrie, if I've gotten this far, why would I need to even get any more help? I mean, look at me scale a ladder. I've gotten this far. I've gotten promoted 4 times in the last 5 to 10 years. Why would I need you now? Well, maybe you didn't know an executive coach even exists. A lot of people don't know. They don't know what they don't know, right? Isn't that half the problem? If you don't know what you don't know, that's my life. I'm always eager to learn. I'm always learning, always curious what's out there, what's different, what do I not know, where am I stopping myself, where do I keep having a limiting belief that's just kind of keeping me from getting, and scaling upward in life, whatever that looks like. Could be more pay, could be more time freedom, could be more balance, more work-life balance. Whatever it is you're trying to achieve, your goal becomes my goal. That's how it works. It's a beautiful thing. So a lot of the importance is you want that unbiased third-party perspective to challenge your assumptions and provide honest feedback. I've had so many that are, this is just kind of like going into client mode here. One just the other day was like, I saw you on my calendar, Carrie, at 2:00, and it made my day so much better. I knew I could get through the day. It'd been a challenging week because our call was on a Thursday. Already had, 3 work days under her belt and ready to go into Thursday. And she saw me on her calendar at 2 p.m. and she just knew, okay, my day's going to get better. I'm going to be able to unload some stuff on Carrie. She's going to give me her outside perspective. I'm not emotionally attached. I don't belong to the team. I'm not employed by them. I am 100% on my client side. That is the key. So part of it too is you're just kind of looking at it from, again, the outside unbiased perspective. If I don't get the promotion, nothing's going to change in my pay. I'm going to give you the best advice because I want you to refer me to your peers, and so on. I want that client for life. I want that relationship to be a soaring relationship between myself and my client. So I want you to succeed 100%. Your win's my win. Okay. Your goal is my goal. So having that outside perspective is huge. And knowing it's a safe space. You may have mentors that are provided for you within your workspace, but again, who's paying their bill? Who's paying them? Are they directly involved? Do they benefit from your success? So there's some kind of, again, that bias there where maybe job security or whatever that looks like. You want someone that's far removed outside of the process over here that can give you true, honest feedback, true, honest perspective. I love the saying, you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. That's right on my website. You can't see yourself in the picture when you're already in it. When you're in the frame, you're in it. You're like, help, I need that outside perspective. What am I missing? Where do I keep tripping myself up? It's challenging when we have that self-sabotaging behavior over and over again. You're like, why am I doing this? Well, just get to our goal and then something happens. Or you see your team do it. It's huge, right? Big, 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 big. So what's another reason why someone would hire a coach? Accountability. Even if you just, and I love to rely or kind of compare coaching to fitness because it's fitness of the mind, fitness of the body, that kind of thing. Repetitive behavior, routines, just kind of getting into patterns that are healthy. Accountability is huge. I used to, if I wanted to try something fun for the day or the weekend or try something new, I would tell my teammates on a Friday, I'm going to skydive this weekend. I didn't even have it booked yet. But I knew when I came back Monday morning, they're going to ask me, so how was it? Did you freak out? Did you get video? What happened? Tell us all about it. I knew that just by telling that a handful of people around me in the office what I was doing that weekend, even though, again, I hadn't even booked it and I was scared that I was going to just do it anyway. And by that Sunday morning, I was jumping out of a plane. So why is that so powerful? Is it because we want to save face? Is it that we care so much about what other people think? I think really, truly, my feelings around accountability is that we hold ourselves accountable to an extent. We'll let ourselves down first. It's easier to say, I didn't get to it today. I didn't get to it this weekend. I really, really wanted to get to that project, but I didn't tell anybody about it. So the only person I let down was me. That's for some reason, we have no problem letting ourselves down. But when there's an external party, whether it's your child, your spouse, your significant other, your coworker, your boss, your trainer, whatever it looks like, your coach, your executive coach, all of a sudden it's like, I did say it. It makes us grit through the pain, grit through the fear, grit through the uncomfortable to get to the other side because that accountability factor is in place. Another thing that I would do when I had a goal that I felt like I might let myself down, I would attach my daughter to the goal. 10 plus years ago when I started working for myself in the self-employed business coach arena back in 2014, so I'll just put a date in there. I knew when my daughter went away for the summer, because back then we lived in Vegas and she would go home every summer to Michigan, be with her father, be with my family, and so on. I knew in my heart of hearts that I would stay in the corporate world for too long. I told her, by the time you get back that summer, by the time school starts, mommy's going to be working from home. And sure enough, gosh, I'm thinking of the dates, and there's a stupid gnat flying by me. Does anyone else hate gnats like I do? Good grief. So you see me waving my hands here on the video. That's what's happening. I can't swallow it, right? That'd be gross. So I digress here. So back to Shyla, my daughter. It's August 2014 and mommy's still in the corporate world that first week. And I'm like, she comes home soon. School starts soon. I have to give my notice. And sure enough, little by little, I started to clean up my desk in the corporate office. I had already created an exit strategy. You know me, I had a game plan. A year and a half prior, I had an exit strategy that I was creating. I was doing my side hustle, creating it to be my main hustle before I left the corporate world. I'm not into, just doing rash decisions, especially as a single mom with only one income. So, but I made a promise to that little girl. And back in 2014, which was 10 years ago, she was only 10, going on 10 years old, fifth grader at the time, going into fifth grade. I knew I'd promised her mommy will be home, which it meant the world to me. That's why I created a business of my own, a laptop lifestyle business, was because I wanted to be hands-on mom. I didn't want her to see after school care and nannies after school, because that's the most detrimental window of time with your child's life, is when that after school, I need a confident, safe space to go and just unleash my challenges. Was I bullied that day? Did I have a hard time? Was there a test I was worried about? Mom's that safe space. I wanted her to have that. I would pick her up from the playground every day. So I needed to make that goal. I had a little girl I couldn't let down. I didn't want to see her face start school that year, going back into the same patterns of mom working long hours, her going to a nanny's or after school care. So sometimes we need that outside party to be the accountability factor. That one I think is the most progressive tool in a coaching environment, is the accountability. No different than when you want to go to the gym more often and you start doing a class, maybe it's, a spin class or yoga or Pilates with a girlfriend, or just going for a walk every day. When you agree to meet each other every day at 5, 6 a.m., whatever that looks like in your life, you'll let yourself down because you're like, I don't feel it. You're never going to feel like it. Okay, let's be real. You're never going to feel like going for a walk, especially if the weather's bad or you're just like, meh, it's cold. I think I'll stay inside today by the fire. It looks so nice and cozy. But when you have your friend that's waiting for you at 2 o'clock or whenever that time is you guys agreed, that'll hold you accountable. And you know what? It's working for her too. She's going through the same mind garbage that you are, that same trash talk. Oh, I think stinking thinking, we call it. I think I just want to stay home. I walked yesterday. I already did 4 hours this week of working out. Why do I need to go today? That accountability factor, you will let yourself down every time, like that, quickly and fast. But if you got that accountability partner or that person in your corner that you said, I will get this to you at 2 o'clock today, or I will meet you, or I will quit that job, it works like magic. It really does. Accountability is huge. And that's number one reason I think that people hire coaches in all areas of their life. Accountability factor. Now, another part or reason why my clients have really got benefits of working with me, and I've seen it in other peers as well, is the retention and employee engagement. They've learned to be such great leaders that they improve their job satisfaction for their team, and they're really reducing turnover. And I'm seeing also the executives I've worked with, and this is a perk. If you're an employer, big tech, that's the ones I'm talking to the most, where there's a lot of high turnover. You want to keep those top executives. It costs you more to get another one and work on the retention and the training and getting them ramped up and up to speed again. Costs more money than it is just to keep that one particular executive or that employee. It costs less money. You want to just pour yourself into the team you have and watch them soar so that you don't have that turnover. It does have a ripple effect. It does. It costs the company money. It costs executive stress, time, money, all the things. In just the onboarding process alone and getting them up to speed to ramp up to where that other employee who just left, get them to that level, is going to cost you years, literally. Let's be real. Another great reason why executive coaches just pour themselves into clients and their clients soar and they see massive results is we provide that strategic vision. We help you get that game plan in place. We help you align your personal goals with your organizational goals, and getting that company strategic vision in place makes a huge difference. Again, if you're a company that's looking for executive coaching for your employees, first, don't hesitate. Go do it. There's lots of companies out there, not just myself. By all means, please go out there. The case studies prove over and over again just the progress. And generally, if you're looking, you might even have an executive that's looking to elsewhere. But if they've got that opportunity to grow and scale within, they're not going to leave. They've got that history there. They've made friends. They've got peers there. They've got so much potential within the company. Why look elsewhere? Why not just grow within your organization? You want to retain your talent, right? Costs less money, lots less money. So how do you choose the right executive coach? Carrie, this sounds great. I really need one. I think I do. Or I know someone that would benefit from that. The key thing is the experience. Maybe they've worked in an industry similar to yours. I've worked in big tech. I've worked with small startups. I've worked everywhere in between, from Microsoft to other big tech companies, IBM, Google, Facebook, Meta. Let's call it that, I guess. There's lots of companies out there. All tech, in my opinion, is the same. All big tech's the same. The bigger the organization, the chances of you getting lost in the shuffle is big. I've worked with startups. I've worked in different countries, 11 different countries all over the globe. You want someone that's seen it all. I get the entrepreneur mindset, and I also get the executive's mindset. I get all of it. I get the fear base that shows up in all roles. I also know what's available out there for you to help support you to scale, to have a better lifestyle, better work-life balance. The biggest challenge I see with most executives is time, lack of time. So that's like the first thing I look at. Aside from leading yourself, is your time management. What's a day in the life of an executive coach? What does it look like to be you every day? Take me into the trenches with you. So when you're hiring a coach, make sure that they're going to do that. They're going to get in with you. They want to see your schedule. They want to go through and go, you're got 5 hours on Monday. That's a total time waster. How can you shave that? Get that out of there. There's 10 meetings you're attending every week. That could be 2 meetings. They're repeating themselves. Your team over here is overlapping efforts. And instead of working together, you're both working side by side in 2 different swim lanes. How can we not be so siloed in your work industry and get where you're working together? Again, sharing the efforts instead of busting your bum over here, just instead of literally somebody's weakness over here could be someone else's strength. How can we work together and create that synergy within your team? So look for a coach that's going to get that whole perspective, because it is most days, and a lot of my executives are working virtually. That's what we do now. It's just kind of our new normal. How can we not feel siloed in our role? How can we still connect? How can our team feel like they matter? How can I create that synergy? How can I create compatibility, and get where they truly have a relationship with one another, where they feel like they're not just a number or a name on the corner of that conference call, whether it's in Microsoft Teams or Zoom, or I'm not just a picture or profile. I matter. I've got things happening in my life. How can we create that connection where the team doesn't want to leave? It feels like a family. And all good workplaces should feel like that, truly. You should feel like, gosh, I don't want to leave because then I'll let down so-and-so, and this person feels like a brother to me and my best friend. And how can I truly create that team energy where I feel like I matter? And if I don't show up today, it actually does, someone's going to notice, right? Because we do feel like a lot of the times that no one's going to notice. I don't matter. I'm invisible. No one wants to feel that way. They're going to leave. You don't want to get your team to where they feel like they matter, they're invaluable, and they're irreplaceable. That's a key. And you want to feel irreplaceable in your role as well. So look for those key factors when you're selecting an executive coach. By all means, look at experience, coaching style. A lot of people hire me because it feels relatable. I've got people literally just picking up my boyfriend's dog today at the groomers. I'm picking her up. I got the dog in my hand, and I'm walking towards the door, and the groomer starts to share something super personal. I've seen her once before, maybe 6, 7, 8 months ago in the winter. This is August when I'm recording this. Why would she tell me something so personal? Something you would almost tell a therapist, but I'm not a therapist. Please be clear on this, setting expectations. Coaching is not therapy. If you want that, by all means, please hire that. I'm all about your mental health, and I am going to work on those areas as well to exceed that work-life balance, but I am not a licensed therapist, so I have to put that up there. But this lady felt the need to share something dear. She paused. She goes, I feel like I can share this with you. And she did. And I just sat with her in that moment of emotion. And it's just the energy I give off. I give an immediate trust level, even if you're a complete stranger in the grocery store line. It's just who I am. It's not something you can self-teach. It's not something you can even go to get training for. It's something I'm born with. It's just who I am. It's the energy I exude, where people just trust me with their emotions and feelings, and we can share unfiltered conversation, authentic, unmasked, real in the trenches. This is real talk. It's something I've always prided myself with. I am that girl you can have real talk with. So look for that, someone you resonate with that's going to just get you and you feel comfortable with, because you're not going to get results if you can't be unfiltered. If you show up to your coaching sessions with a mask on, the same mask you've been wearing this whole time in the corporate world, imposter syndrome, whatever label you want to give it, if you're going to show up in our coaching sessions like that, we're not going to get anywhere. Same with a therapist. If you're not going to peel back the layers of what's really working and creating that trauma or whatever mechanisms beneath the surface are showing up that are creating sabotage, creating chaos in your life, you're not going to get better. You're not going to be able to heal. You're not going to work past that. And I really, really want that for you. So if you're watching this or listening to this and you're like, I think I need therapy, I think I really could benefit from taking a deep dive on what's showing up. Because again, the conscious behavior and that outside is only like 5% of what's going on. That subconscious 95% autopilot of how we navigate through life. And working with a coach is going to help you get through that. And of course, the therapist as well is going to go a little deeper. I do a lot of deep dives, but again, I have to put that disclaimer up there. I am not a licensed therapist at all. So look for that person that's relatable. Maybe you can relate to my life story. Maybe you also have children, or maybe you're soon to be an empty nester. Maybe you're, can just relate to my personal story. Who knows? Or maybe we just gel well together, right? I just get you right off the bat. You're not going to know until you get like a free coaching session. And that's just a part of the process, is to do a test run with a coach before you hire them. That's my advice, whether you work with me or someone else. Do a test run. Let them, no pay involved, just jump in, or maybe there's a small amount. I like to charge a small fee because my time's important, and so is yours, but because it's to benefit you. You're going to get more out of that for that couple coaching sessions. You'll get more out of it if you have a little skin in the game. All clients do. And I would be doing you a disservice if I did everything for free. Because think about it, like stuff, you get a free gym membership, you probably will never go. But knowing you've been paying every month, that twinge of guilt, like, oh, I should go. I'm sitting there paying for this. I should use it. Same with a coach. I would be, again, doing you a disservice if I didn't charge for you. Charge you a little something, something, right? So just to get some common myths out of the way before we kind of wrap up this episode. And again, welcome to the Leadership Lounge. I'm happy you're here. Thank you for listening. If you've been listening this long, you're awesome. You're amazing. You want to do better. I love anyone that's a personal development, self-growth junkie like myself. Always can do better. Always can learn something. You don't know what you don't know. Where can I grow and expand, right? So a little bit of the myths, a lot of misconceptions about hiring executive coaches or any coach is that it's a sign of weakness. It's only for struggling leaders. The coach only came in because you were going to get fired. Like, don't get there. Don't go there. Get a coach now. Which, hey, there's no wrong time to hire a coach. I'm not going to just dissuade that or push you away. But let's be real. Prevention's better than trying to find a cure. And this is my wellness coaching thing, just kind of in the background, seems to come up a lot. So my examples tend to be around that. Because again, it's the well-being, the mind, body, soul type of coaching that I do. Don't wait for a heart attack to get healthy and eat better, start running or exercising. Don't wait for the cancer scare. Don't wait for you're obese, that doctor-patient moment of reality check. Don't wait for that. It's a lot harder to climb up when you're starting from the bottom, when you're in the pit. It's a lot harder to recover from I think I'm going to lose my job. Maybe I'll get an executive coach. Or I think I might be one of the layoffs because my performance is so bad and my team's performance so bad. Become irreplaceable first. Just become it. So that fear isn't always in the back of your mind. Get healthy now so you're not worried about that next doctor visit or worried about, this runs in my family. Should I take a look at this? Should I wait for that wake-up call, that reality check, or should I do it now? Again, prevention is way easier than trying to find a cure. And the results are better by all means, right? You're not coming in, you're not reacting, you're being proactive. And a lot of executives and leaders find themselves reacting to life, reacting to their role, instead of being proactive. Find the blind spots, find the curve, the dangerous curves ahead, those obstacles, those speed bumps that are going to show up in potholes. Let me help you find them first so we can be proactive going forward. And last but not least, look around, check. Ask some of your peers if they have a coach. Bet you they do. And if they're really soaring, they're working on themselves. They're either working on themselves off hours or on hours during off hours of work, or maybe they've got a trainer that's really working on their mindset. Or, and as I mentioned before, I would talk about this a little bit, maybe they're just looking to expand themselves outside. Like I worked in my personal development outside of the workspace. For example, for 18 months straight, I did a new thing every month. And sometimes that new thing was just horseback riding through the mountains. Doesn't sound crazy, right? Doesn't sound life-threatening. It don't look like I have a death wish, but I had not done it. The last time I had been on a horse was like summer camp or somewhere in a carnival as a little girl. I wanted to just go through the mountains on a horse. Now, of course, I had other extremities, like I mentioned, the skydiving or flying a stunt plane twice, not just once, but twice. I learned how to ride a dirt bike, and I bought a motorcycle. I got my motorcycle license, bought one, fixed it up. Again, those I'm checking lots of boxes there. What's a girl like me know how to take apart brakes and take things apart? And then I had to, make it look like a chick bike. I had to take it apart and paint it. It was all hot pink, silver, and black. It got the Kawasaki vibe. It was a dual sport. So KLX 250 Kawasaki for anyone that wants to know. Had it for a couple of years. Overcame that scare, that fear. I've done whitewater rafting. It's terrified. Anything to do with water, I'm scared because I'm not a strong swimmer. So that one, I needed a life coach to help push me through. Lots of things. And I've done things since then. But for 18 months, within that 18-month period, and this is something I will totally tell my clients and I share often with my clients because you will reap the benefits. When you overcome something that scares you, you feel bulletproof. I did rappelling off of Red Rocks in Las Vegas when I lived there. Oh gosh, the list just goes on and on and on. Lots of hikes that I never thought I would do, long hikes. Not thinking of everything, but there's a huge shift that happens inside of you when you start to tackle things you thought you would never do. Your mindset changes. You feel bulletproof. You feel unstoppable. Your income starts to soar. My income was at an all-time high, and I was in sales at the time, so I was just kind of soaring in the business world and business development, global business development at that time. My relationships were doing better. I was happier. My body was in great shape. I looked amazing. I was so healthy. I was vibrant. Why? Because I had one thing a month that I would do. I jumped off the stratosphere in Las Vegas, 855 feet. It was just a controlled fall. It wasn't a bungee jump or anything like that, but it was scary, right? It was terrifying. Lots of things I did. And since then, I've done a hot air balloon ride. I've published another book. I've started this podcast. I've grown a business. I've rebranded that business 3 times. This is my 3rd rebrand because that's what you do when you're an entrepreneur mindset. You just can't help it. You keep growing and expanding, and so does your brand, your business, your clients keep exploding as well. I'm always working on me because the better I can be, the better I can show up for you every day. I moved across country, moved back to my hometown after 34 years of wanting to be back in Traverse City, Michigan. I do hard things because I push myself and I challenge myself. So that is a huge call to action for you. Where in your life do you want to expand? Sometimes it doesn't look like what you think. I didn't go into all of those fun adventure type activities thinking I was going to make more money, but that was a ripple effect. I didn't go in there thinking my relationship at the time was going to get better, but that was a ripple effect. I didn't think, if I jump out of a plane, I'm going to have a better physique. I'm going to feel stronger. No, I was just happier. I was getting better. I hardly ever saw the gym. I was just active in nature, doing fun things, camping and river rafting and hiking and learning to ride a dirt bike. I was doing fun things. I was living outside of my job, outside of my corporate life. And the corporate life actually started to soar as well. So this was huge. Thank you for sitting down with me. I hope you can see the benefits of outside perspective, accountability, all the coaching in your personal performance, in your team's performance, in the leadership style that you have, in employee retention, and getting the promotion, okay? Scaling that ladder with class, right? With class. You can do it. I believe in you. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. Big hugs, big love, and just know we're going to have a ton of great content on the Leadership Lounge. We're going to be interviewing experts all over the globe, sharing real talk, real life application. Again, can I mention real talk? Like, I love the unfiltered. This is the truth. This is what is sucking today, sucking the life out of me. And how did we overcome it? How did you pivot? What did you do to save the day? What did you do to save the quarter, the fiscal year, and then some? So big hugs, big love. It was so much fun having you with me today. And if you don't have a coach, take a look in the show notes here or go to my website at carriemillspod.com and take a look at services. Contact me or reach out at carrie@carriemillspod.com. Big hugs, big love. Share this episode with another executive friend of yours. Okay. See you in the next episode.